Well, let's now shift our attention to some other stories where the Chinese President Xi Jinping has now promised to open the country's economy and also lower the import tariffs on products including cars. Now, Xi Jinping's speech comes amidst rising trade tensions between China and the United States. Now, President Xi has also said that China would raise the foreign ownership limit in the automobile sectors as soon as possible. He's also vowed to push previously announced measures to open the financial sector. She has also said that China will take measures to sharply widen the market access for foreign investors. Now, China will also speed up the opening of its insurance sector to foreign investors. Now, she was in fact speaking at the four-day event themed An Open and Innovative Asia for a World of Greater Prosperity that is in fact being held in southern Chinese island province of Hainan. As many as 2,000 guests from over 60 nations and regions are presently attending the conference, along with those from more than 100 of the world's top 500 companies. All right, now for more on this, we are joined in by our senior international affairs correspondent, Ramesh Ramachandran. Ramesh, good morning to you. This, of course, is a very significant step considering the kind of trade tariff wars that we are seeing between the United States and China. It appears that China is in fact softening its stance by stating that they would like to welcome more foreign investment in China, especially in the auto industry.
Morning, Mohammed. I'll answer your question in three parts. First, the text, then the subtext and the context of President Xi Jinping's remarks at the Boa Forum for Asia. First, the text. Essentially, what Xi Jinping has said is that China will cut tariffs on foreign cars and other products and also ease the limits on foreign ownership in the auto industry. Then he went on to say that he's asked the developed countries, mind you, to lift restrictions on high-tech exports to China. And China is willing to set up an intellectual property protection bureau to protect foreign the IPR rights. And he also vowed to step up to open China's market to amid the U.S. trade pact and a new phase of opening up of the Chinese economy to broaden the market access and also lower the market entry restrictions for foreign insurance companies. That's the text of what he said. Now, the subtext is the unmistakable criticism, a veiled criticism, if you will, Mohammed, of Trump's policies towards China. We remember she also said that China will not force anyone to buy American products. That's a dig at Donald Trump, no doubt. And the context of it all is the ongoing trade tariff war between Washington and Beijing. Interestingly, Mohammed, the big takeaway from India could be his remark that China is open to address all concerns about the Belt and Road Initiative. It remains to be seen how whether India will relent on its opposition to the Belt and Road Initiative, given the remarks made by Xi Jinping at the Boa Forum for Asia.
All right, an interesting interpretation in terms of what appears to have happened. But, you know, if you were to just look plainly at the text of what has been said here by President Xi Jinping, Ramesh, you know, a lot of people would perhaps say that, look, China is now trying to strike a conciliatory note. Because initially, in the immediate aftermath of US President Donald Trump having announced those tariffs, extra tariffs against Chinese goods imported into the United States, China had put out a defiant tone. They had said that, look, if we need to safeguard our markets, we will do so. But here we see Chinese President Xi Jinping speaking a completely different language.
Well, conciliatory or not, Mohammed, that's open to interpretation. Depends on who you speak to. But the fact remains that Trump had made an offer of negotiations with Beijing a couple of days ago. But yesterday we heard Xi Jinping and Chinese authorities say categorically that trade talks with the U.S. are impossible under current conditions. So that is a complete denial of any possibility of talks with the U.S. But generally, yes, a signal is intent to open the Chinese economy to foreign players, make it easier for them to set up shop and make money going forward. And also in terms of intellectual property, in terms of market access, in terms of lower tariff, the market barriers. So these are all welcome, remarks made by Xi Jinping. But the proof of the pudding will be in the eating, Mohammed. Right. It remains to be seen whether the trade tariff war between Washington and Beijing will end anytime soon or not.